Hi friends, welcome to our channel Learn with MSU. In this series of video lecture, we are discussing about AI concepts. So in this session number 5, we are going to discuss about the various uninformed searching strategies. So in the last session, we discussed about what is meant by a problem, what is meant by a well-defined problem. So if you missed that session, please visit that video link and then come to this. In what is meant by uninformed search strategies. So we are going to discuss about 6 different strategies. Uninformed search strategies do not have additional information about state or a search space, which means that the information about the problem is not completely available. You are having only some informations are available, but all the informations are not available. While we are discussing informed search strategies, you know what is mean by that additional information. Uninformed search strategies are otherwise called as a blind search, which means that without knowing any information, we are performing the search. That is what it itself is called as a blind search. So it uses the brute force way. So that is what uninformed search definition. So we are having number of uninformed search strategies are available. The two basic strategies are breadth first search and depth first search, and then depth limited search, iterative deepening search, uniform cast search, and the last one is a bidirectional search. But the basic search strategies are BFS and DFS. To overcome the disadvantages which are all available in this BFS and DFS, these 4 searches are extended. So you have to understand the concept of BFS and DFS very well. Then you can able to clearly understand these concepts. Uninformed search strategies. Whenever if you are defining an algorithm, the algorithm performance must be analyzed by using 4 important criteria. First one is a completeness. Is your strategy guaranteed to find a solution? Whenever if you are using your algorithm, it must provide you a solution. That is what we are calling as a completeness. It will give yes or no. Some algorithm will give you a solution, but some algorithm will not give you a solution. And time complexity, how long it take to find a solution. So the time required to complete or reach out the final state is called as a time complexity. And space complexity, how much memory it required to perform the search. That is what the space complexity. So 2 important criteria for any searching algorithm is time complexity and space complexity. Optimality is whether the agent or the searching strategy can able to identify the optimal solution, which means that a problem can be solved in different ways and it can able to identify whether it is a optimal solution or not. So some algorithm may give you only one solution, but some algorithm will give you multiple solutions. Among that, one solution must be a optimal solution. So your strategy must give you that optimal solution. By using these 4 criteria, we are going to compare each and every algorithm. So first and foremost, we will discuss the basic thing. We will define 3 different terms. B. What is mean by B is the branching factor. That is the number of successors generated by a given node. So for a tree, it may produce number of successors. So let us consider this as a tree. Now the branching factor for this tree is 2, because this node is generating maximum 2 child, and this node is generating maximum 2, and this node is generating maximum 2. Suppose if this node is generating 3 nodes, means the branching factor is 3. So each and every node is generating maximum number of successors is called as a branching factor B. And then what is a D is? D is the actually the goal state which is available in the dth level. So we know that a solution will be available in any one of the state. So that depth level we are calling it as a D, and M is actually the maximum depth of the tree. For some of the searching algorithms we need this. So we will use this branching factor value B and the D value D, depth value D, the solution is available, and maximum M. Suppose let us consider a tree which contain depth is 4 So suppose let us consider like this. So this is at level 0, level 1, level 2 and level 3. Suppose m equal to 3, which means that maximum depth of the tree is 2. But here d equal to 1, which means that the solution is available in the first level itself. So that you are not going to search these things. That is what we are defining d and m. First we will start discuss about breadth first search. Searches breadthwise in a tree or a graph. So it will perform the search in a breadthwise. BFS algorithm starts searching from the root node and then it will expand all the successors. So here you see that if it visits this node and then it will expand all the successor and then it will go for a next one. It uses FIFO, that is it uses a queue mechanism to store all these things. So we will discuss with an example. Suppose let us consider a tree. The starting state is S. So S is inserted in a queue and then S neighbors are A and B. So in a queue A is added as well as B is also added. So this all the successor of S is added. Now what is the next data? Next node is A. What are the neighbors of A? C and D. So in a queue C is added as well as D is also added. So A is processed and what is the next node? B is the next node. What are the neighbors of B? G and H. So in a queue G will be added and then H will be added. And then what is the next node? C. What are the neighbors of C? C's neighbors are E and then F. And then next node is a D. There are no neighbors for D is available. So it will be processed. The next node to be processed is G. There is one neighbor of G is available. What is the neighbor of G means? It is actually I. And then H, there is no neighbor. So we are processing. Then E, there is a neighbor K. Still we not yet reached a K. K is actually the solution state. So E is processed and F, there is no neighbor. I, there is no neighbor, and K is a goal state. We are performing a goal test. Now this is actually the all the nodes which are all available inside a queue. So this is what we are calling it as a BFS. So it start from S and then it process A and B and it process C, D, G, H and then it process E, F, I. At last it process K. It will give you only one solution, but it guarantees you to give a solution. It may be optimal, it may not be optimal, but it guarantees you to give a solution. Suppose if we consider this, time complexity is first it is visiting only one node and then it is visiting two nodes, because for this tree the branching factor is 2. So it is visiting two nodes, so B power 1 and then B power 2. Then after that it is visiting 4 nodes. And then you see that at last it will visit up to B power D. So this is actually, so here for this tree the D and M are same. So what is M? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So M equal to 4 and D is also 4. So depth, the solution as well as the maximum depth are available in the same location. So it will open all the nodes. After K it will not be opened. So that it is opening up to B power D. So the maximum time complexity required for this problem is order of B power D. And similarly it is storing all the data. So here you see in the queue it is storing all the values. So it will, the space complexity of this algorithm BFS is order of B power D. BFS is actually complete, which means that it will give you a solution. It guarantees you to give a solution. Optimal, BFS is optimal if the path cost is not given. Then you can consider BFS is optimal. Otherwise it will not be optimal. It's a simple approach. It will give you a solution. And then we can go for a second one, that is a depth first search. Depth first search is, it starts from a root node and follows each path to its greatest depth node and then moving to the next path. It uses the stack data structure. So level by level search or breadthwise search is called as a breadth first search. Depth first search is, we are going to search with respect to the depth. Suppose let us consider if it is a T is, we are having these tree. So it start moving from one node up to a depth it will move. So after visiting 1, 2, 3 and 4, then only it will move here. Let's discuss with an example. Suppose let us consider this. It uses the stack. So first in a stack S will be stored. Yes, one of the neighbors of S is A and A will be pushed into the stack, and A's one of the neighbor is B and B will be pushed into the stack, and B's another neighbor is, B's one of the neighbor is D, and now top of the stack is D. There is no neighbor for D is available, so D will be popped out. and B's neighbor is E, so E will be stored here. And then we are searching for neighbor of E, there is no neighbor is available, so we are searching, deleting B and then B also. Now there is another one node is available A. A is one of the neighbor is C, so C will be pushed here, and C is one of the neighbor is G. G is actually a goal state. Now you can see that S, A, C, G. This is actually an optimal solution. Now what is the usage of DFS is, it assure you to give you an optimal solution. But what is the problem is, here we performed the process of backtracking. We are visiting S, A, B, D. After that we are backtracking to B and then we are visiting E. So if the backtracking is not available, DFS will not give you a solution. So that DFS can give you an optimal solution, but it is not actually a complete. But the time space complexity is completely reduced. Here you can see we are storing only 4 nodes. Maximum we are storing only 4 nodes. This 4 is indicating actually this depth value. Now if you compare this time complexity, but what is the problem of this DFS is, suppose here D value is equal to 3, that is depth value is 3. Suppose M equal to 100, which means that the maximum depth of the tree is 100. So after D there is 100 nodes are available. So what will happen is, from S we will open A, from A we will open B, from B we will open D, from D we will open this path. So here this path will be extended up to 100 depth. So what is going to happen is, this DFS can enter into a infinite path. So if M value is too large than this D value, what is going to happen is, it will enter into the infinite path. That is actually the problem. So the time complexity is order of B power M. So you can use it as a B. So B power 2, B power 3 up to B power M, that is actually the thing. So M is a maximum depth. And then space complexity we will use only B into M. So if we consider this, maximum we will store up to M depth value. Other than that, that is not needed. As we told earlier, it is not complete. So since it is not complete, it is not optimal also. If we compare this BFS and DFS, obviously the time complexity BFS is very less when compared to DFS. But if we consider a space complexity, the space complexity of BFS is order of B power D. So it is increasing in exponential. But here the space complexity is order of B into M. It is increasing only in a multiplication. So if we can improve, or if we can make some modification in DFS, you can make something is possible. If you can make this, if you can reduce this time complexity, you can make able to this DFS as a efficient one. To make this DFS as a efficient one, we propose another one technique called as a depth limited search. Depth limited search is one type of DFS. To avoid DFS is entering into an infinite path, depth limited search is provided. What we are going to do is, here one limit value is given. So let us consider that, suppose here after this H, K and L, suppose let us consider here there are few paths are available. So we will define limit L equal to 2, which means that DFS will not extend after level 2. After visiting C, then it will move to A and once again it will visit D. So that is actually the advantage of depth limited search. So within the limit, this limit value is defined randomly for any problem. So within this limit value, DFS is happening. So depth limited search is otherwise called as it is a DFS with the limit value. But here what is the problem is, suppose if L is a goal state, if you define L equal to 2, DFS depth limited search will not give you a solution, because you provided the limit value as 2, but your solution is available in level 4, so you will not get a solution. That is actually the problem. But you can able to improve the values. So here you see completeness, DL is complete if the solution is within the depth limit, because it will not enter into a infinite path. And time complexity is order of B power L, it is not B power M. And then space complexity is order of B power L, because it will search within the limit. So it can be viewed as a optimal if the L value is greater than D value. And in a depth limited search there is a problem. What is the problem is, if you define a limit value which is less than your solution means there is a problem. So to overcome this, there is another one algorithm is defined, that is iterative deepening search. Here what we are doing is, it is also one kind of DFS. We are performing a DFS in an increasing depth limit. So simple approach, what we are doing is, in the first iteration we will search the solution only in level 0. In the second iteration we are search within level 1. The second iteration we will search within level 2 until the solution is identified. Now only 3 iterations had performed, already we reached out a solution, so we are stopping the process. It may look very long process, but it can give you a efficient solution. So if you compare this, it is actually a complete. Now you see that time complexity is order of b power d and space complexity is order of b power d. So this is what we need. So we improved DFS in an efficient way. And then bidirectional search, it is not possible in all the problems. It will perform 2 different searches simultaneously. One is from initial state to goal state, that is forward search. Another one is from goal state to the initial state, that is backward search. So here for example, we want to reach out the goal state 9. So we are starting from 9, we are starting from 1 and then we are start searching. And then goal state 16, we are starting from 16, we are trying to reach out. So at any point we will reach out this 9. So that is actually which is connecting this path and this path, then that is your solution. That is what the advantage of bidirectional search. But bidirectional search is not possible in all the problems. That is what one of the disadvantage of bidirectional. You can easily imagine, suppose if I want to search from 1 to 16, we want to reach 1, 4, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16. And similarly here also. But here you see 1, 4, 8 and 16, 12, 10 and 9. So instead of visiting 6 nodes, we are visiting only 3 nodes. But 3 plus 3. Totally we are visited 6 nodes, but it does in a simultaneous. So it is half reduced. So that time complexity is b power d by 2. Space complexity is also, it is yes, but only if it is applicable. So if we can do this, then it is applicable. Otherwise it is not possible. And then slightly we are moving from uninformed to informed. So the latest one of the technique is a uniform cast search. So we have to traverse the node by using a weighted graph. So we are given with the weight value. With respect to the weight value, we are going to search from S. The least node is A. So which are, because it casts only 1. And from A we are visiting D. From D we are visiting G. So depending upon the cast value we are visiting. So we are using a priority queue. Since we are using the cast value, you can't use directly the time complexity and space complexity clear. So these are the different kinds of uninformed search strategies. Basically we are having only BFS and DFS. After that we are having the improvement of BFS and DFS. We defined depth limited search, iterative deepening search, bidirectional search. The last one is a uniform cast search. So if you are having any clarification, put your questions in the comment section. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. So if you like this, put a like and then share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Thank you.